If bedtime is starting to feel more stressful than restful, you're definitely not alone. This is Sleep Circle, where we test sleep tools, explore routines, and share what actually works. I'm Dr. Trevor Jackson, and today we're answering the question, do anti-snoring devices work? But not every device works in every use case. Most of the products that are out there, especially the ones that are popular on social media, fall into the category of passive, meaning that they only work when you are actually using them, but if you forget one night or if you go on a trip and you don't bring it with you, then you're not going to get any long-term results from these devices. There is another category out there, the active approach, and today in this video we're going to break down which of these devices actually address the underlying problem and are going to get you long-term results to help improve your snoring over time. Now, before we spend any money on products, I think it's worth understanding what snoring is. When we go to sleep at night, we lay down in bed, we relax, and we fall asleep, all of the muscles in our mouth, our throat, and soft palate relax. Now, for a lot of us, we don't have the tone in these muscles and tissues to be able to maintain their position when they relax. So the tongue slides backwards, the soft tissues collapse, and then everything vibrates like a flag in the wind, and that's the noise that we hear when we sleep. Now, in more moderate to severe cases, the airway can actually become completely blocked off, and that's what we call obstructive sleep apnea. The airway gets blocked off, the brain and the body doesn't get the air that it needs, we wake up, we get startled awake just to get a gasp of air, and then we fall back asleep. Sometimes this can happen dozens of times throughout the night, and a lot of times we don't become alert enough to really realize that it's happening. Instead, we just wake up feeling groggy, tired all day, brain fog, and just like we got hit by a truck. And that's where some of these anti-snoring devices can really be helpful, is helping you get better sleep, feeling more rested, and getting back to doing the things you love to do. Now, the key word in all of this is muscle tone. For a lot of mild to moderate snoring and obstructive sleep apnea, muscle tone is a neuromuscular problem. So these weak or undertrained muscles become the primary issue. Understanding the root cause of a lot of these issues helps when you're trying to make a decision on which product can help solve your problem. A lot of the passive options out there work by mechanically holding the jaw open, structurally moving the jaw forward so it opens up the airway. Whereas a lot of the active options will strengthen the muscles, the soft tissues inside of the palate and throat, the tongue, to be able to hold open on its own. Now again, most of which you're going to find in the stores and popular on social media fit into the passive category. So let's go through the most popular ones of those first. Probably heard of mouth tape. Mouth tape forces nasal breathing by keeping your lips closed through the night. Brands like Somnifix or Z-Tape have gotten a lot of attention, and they're worth trying as a first step because they are inexpensive. If your snoring is purely related to mouth breathing, tape can make a real difference, but it does nothing for the tongue or the soft tissues in the throat. And if that is what's collapsing and blocking your airway, keeping your mouth closed with tape isn't going to fix it. You can think of mouth tape as more of a diagnostic tool than a fix. If it works, then great. If it doesn't, you know the problem runs deeper. Another option in this category is nasal devices, like a nasal dilator or strips that help open up the nasal passages. This helps reduce resistance and encourages nasal breathing. For people whose snoring is driven by congestion or an anatomical narrowing in their nasal passages, these can help. But again, if the collapsing is happening deeper in the throat, improving airflow through the nose doesn't address where the obstruction is actually happening. And that's where we get into the next device. SnoreRx, or mandibular advancement devices, also abbreviated as MADs or MADs, work by physically pushing your lower jaw forward. That pulls the tongue forward with it and opens up the airway mechanically. These work for a lot of people, and for some people they work really well. But there are trade-offs. Jaw discomfort, soreness, bite changes, excessive drooling, and long-term TMJ issues can happen over time. And again, with a device like this, relief is entirely dependent on whether you're wearing the device or not. You take it out, you forget it at home when you're on a trip, the airway goes right back to its old habits, and the problem still exists. Now, another common option that you've probably heard of is the CPAP machine. CPAP machine is the gold standard for moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea, and for good reason. It works by delivering continuous pressurized air that physically holds open the airway all night. The problem with this one isn't its effectiveness, it's tolerance. A lot of people find the mask to be uncomfortable, the noise is disruptive, and the whole routine is hard to stick with long term when you have this elephant trunk and a mask hanging off your face. Compliance rates in the real world is the consistent problem with using something like a CPAP. And for people that are mild to moderate in nature, this is really just overkill. So with the passive stuff out of the way, what does the active approach actually look like? Well, for starters, there is a clinical approach called orofacial myofunctional therapy, and it uses targeted exercises to strengthen the tongue and the upper airway muscles. This is often provided by speech and language pathologists or occupational therapists, and the research does support it for snoring and mild obstructive sleep apnea. The limitation is that it requires real discipline, daily exercises, and consistency, which can be a big downside for some people. So for those people who want to have this outcome, but with something that's a bit more systematic, takes less time, and is less inconvenient to their daily schedule, neuromuscular electrical stimulation is where the research has gotten really interesting. Enter eXciteOSA. eXciteOSA is a spring sleep product that is clinically tested, FDA cleared, and is backed by real clinical research. It's a device that delivers gentle electrical pulses to the tongue and the soft palate during a 20-minute daytime session, so you're not wearing anything at night. The pulses produce controlled muscle contractions, and over time, those contractions build the kind of endurance the airway muscles need to stay open and in their position throughout the night. The protocol for this device is 20-minute sessions once a day for 6 weeks. After that, most users maintain their results with just 1 or 2 sessions a week. Again, it is the only daytime device on the market that addresses the root cause of snoring. It's not intended to be a replacement for a CPAP in severe use cases. So when it comes to finally picking a device for you in your situation, I always recommend to my patients to start with an at-home sleep study. This will give you a baseline so you can understand exactly how bad your snoring and obstructive sleep apnea is, meaning how much it affects your sleep. Most of my patients that go through this are really surprised and had no idea how often they were waking up or being disturbed at night by their snoring. After you have all that data, you're going to be more informed about which device could be working for you. Now, if you're in the really mild category, start with something more minimally invasive and more affordable, something like the mouth tape or the nasal strips. Give those a try and see if they work for you for a few weeks. If they don't, then move on to trying something more like the mandibular advancement device. But if all of those are failing for you, or if you're in the more mild to moderate category, consider investing into the active approach. Take the extra time, take the extra money to really get down to that core problem and invest into the eXciteOSA from Spring Sleep. With that, you're going to tone the muscles, strengthen the area, and really start to build a foundation that's going to last you not only during the time that you're using it, but also long after. Now, if you're snoring and your obstructive sleep apnea is in the moderate to severe, especially in the severe, none of these products we've mentioned so far are going to replace the need and the gold standard of the CPAP machine. If you're in the severe category, work with your doctor, work with a sleep specialist, get yourself a CPAP and start sleeping better. Bottom line in this video is the passive products are going to help manage the symptoms, while the active products are going to get to the root cause. And for mild to moderate cases, the cause can be fixed. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful answering that question of, do anti-snoring tools work? Here at the Sleep Circle, we're all about better sleep, one night at a time. Subscribe to the Sleep Circle, and I'll catch you in the next one. Sweet dreams.